my God. Where did you get that helmet?
I'm a special guest tonight. Well, you should welcome me. I'm Trevor Lauk.
Hi, Trevor Lauk.
I thought I'd make Dean happy. I know he's a big fan of the Hawkeyes and me. Anyway, I'm gonna welcome Ohio State to the woodshed again. It's about time they came to Ohio State. They better look both ways.
That they shall.
Because the Hawkeyes are gonna lay it to them in the woodshed again. I'm gonna go get Kelvin. I didn't have much time, but I knew it'd be a thrill for Dean and his loyal listeners.
All right, while he's doing that, guys, that was pretty funny. Unexpected, caught me off guard, but hey, if you guys need a pick-me-up, try this. All righty, people.
Did Trevor do all right?
Yep, he did. Okay.
I was in the bathroom. I said, hey, can you jump on a minute? Dean will be thrilled. So go ahead, Dean. Let's do that. Your rest of your cocaine coffee.
Yeah. Okay. Guys, use promo code Villains15 to get 15% off when you go to cocainecoffee.com. We've already had one of our listeners come on here and vouch for it. He said it's pretty darn good, and I think he said they make it or grind it up or whatever they do right where he lives. So he says it's pretty darn good. I'm waiting for them to get back in stock so I can bring my wife some of that coffee. And I will be ordering it soon.
Jennings Dunker, I guess he just drank coffee all day. He would have been a good promotion for cocaine coffee. So
there you go. We got to get him on here, promote it. But he'll probably want to get paid now that he's a professional.
That's right.
Yeah. Anyway, guys, as usual, hit that subscribe button right there in front of you. It is there for you to use right there, and it's free to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Okay. We picked up, I think, one or two more people this week. So thank you for that. Whoever's new, we appreciate it. And do that. And then, hit the like button and share it and comment tonight. Okay, we've already, Boy's been busy already today. Cool. I shall read his comments. Okay. Okay, Boy says, okay, have you guys seen my all-time Iowa offense roster? Did you send us one? Did you send it to us, Boy?
Where would we see it at?
Yeah, where would we see it at? I mean, it's actually in the comment section of your last podcast. We will go look for it. And look at it.
Okay.
Okay.
Everybody join in. We love it.
So, I'm going to look it up.
I'll just mention something while you're looking up.
Okay.
Me and Dean couldn't remember if we mentioned that the renewal of the Cy-Hawk game last podcast or not. But anyway, Beth and Pollard at Iowa State have it through 2031. Anyway, I don't know why some fans on the announcement were very against it. I don't know why they'd want to cancel Plan Arrival, but that's my thoughts on it, that I'm very happy that we're going to continue, it's an exciting game every time we play, and it ain't like they're a top, a bad team. They're very competitive almost every year we play them. Might be
here we're
this
gonna
year.
do. Here we go.
People claim that Iowa State ain't no good this year, but how the hell they know that? Hell, how many guys can you name on the team? 65 transfers and a new coach. It's like, how do you know they're going to be bad? I don't. Go ahead, Dean.
All righty. Here's Boy.
Mhm.
I assume he wanted us to read it. So his
Mhm.
offense is at quarterback, number 1, the race.
What?
It has something to do with a dog or a horse.
What?
Or a horse. He doesn't actually name a quarterback. He just says number 1, the race, and then there's a sticker of a dog. I mean, a horse. Okay. Horse equals Mr. Brendan Sullivan. Okay. So that's his quarterback, Brendan Sullivan.
All-time Hawkeye.
Yeah. At tailback, number 21, Mr. Tony Stewart. We've kind of forgot about him. At fullback, number 32, Mr. Ryan Run Terry. At wide receiver, At wide receivers, number 3, Dannon Hughes. Well, he'd have been a good choice. And Quinn Early, yep. They would have been good choices. At tight end, number 88, Mr. Mike Flagg. I forgot all about Mike Flagg. At center, Mr. Reliable, number 63, Billy Reardon. At guards, Ron Holstrom, Scott Davis. Tackles, Ross Verba, Tristan Worth. Place kicker, Rob Houtland. Finally, the kick returner, Mr. Twimmy Dwight.
Yeah.
So how about that? Good
Cool.
choice. I think there's some good choices.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I'm going to read some of these other comments coming up. I think you'd be interested unless you saw them already. Okay.
From last time?
Yeah. So Rick said, I skipped forward to see what Terry, I think that's his name. Yeah, it was Terry. Had to say about Kirk Ferentz as a potential guest, even if you don't get him. Wow. SBR8Q says, I think this is one I want you to see. Okay. I think it would be cool maybe before the season if you guys did a segment on some of Calvin's best recruiting stories.
Oh.
What you were talking about last week, really.
Yeah, people would just have to bring up players, and if I remembered any remembered much,
Yeah, he enjoyed the SMU story.
When he mentioned Ryan Terry there, he was a walk-on from Ohio, and his cousin's Tony Dorsett. And Ryan Terry, I remember him. He was here one year and got a scholarship, and he claimed that he beat Tavian Banks in every 40-yard dash. He was a lot bigger than Tavian Banks. I don't remember him playing fullback, but then he played in the NFL for several years, and one year he led the NFL as the top kickoff return man average for the Arizona Cardinals.
So I'm going to guess that Boy is probably closer to our age than he is younger.
I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. What we're going to say is we're going to put the trivia question out there, guys. We're going to start out with the trivia question. You guys can answer this, but we'll see who gets the right answer first and how many of you can do it without looking it up. Okay. When was the last time? What was the last time Iowa Hawkeyes played Notre Dame in football?
I know that one.
I knew you would.
Well, maybe I don't.
Okay. I wanted to see what our people come up with. You guys are free to. And also, guys, I forgot to tell you, the link is right there in front of us, isn't it? No, not right now. But there's a link in the comments. The first 3 comments have the link. You can come on. A couple of people have actually tried it. Bob Hoffman says 14 days until kickoff. Go Hawks. Yeah, go Hawks.
It's
Not 14
35,
days. 34.
35,
34.
34.
34 is what he said. My glasses are not. I got to get new glasses. They're all scratched up, so I'm seeing different things.
On Facebook today, they said 35. I had a picture of Philpott. That's his number, the punter.
Okay.
But
yeah, and we're going to get to that, guys. Last week we picked our. It wasn't our all-time team, right? We just picked.
We picked our all-time. Well, 2 or 3 days ago, we picked the all-time Hawkeye teams.
Yeah,
and then we drafted.
Yeah.
No, we didn't. We just drafted. Me and Dean looked at the roster and we drafted the players we wanted on our team, and we couldn't pick the other guy's player. So I picked Trevor Lauk, and then Dean couldn't pick him. That's what we did. Okay. That was interesting. So,
alrighty. Okay, now I put on here that we would start with some men's basketball and women's basketball news, and I'm going to be honest with you. I put that down because you had that, but what news do you have? Anything of interest or spike your interest here?
Well, yeah, I was just going to say that we pretty much know everybody we're recruiting in the 2027 men's basketball class. We already got the Daughtry kid that's 7 foot tall that's a wing from Missouri or Oklahoma, wherever he's from. And we're going to take one point guard, and there's only 3 other guys that are visiting, and it's Caden Daughtry, the number 1 player in the country, the 12th. And then a week or so later, Jackson Davis, the point guard from Chicago. He's down to 5 schools, and he'll be in. And then the last one is like October 2nd. Is that the Ohio State game? I don't know.
Yes.
Anyway, Jalen Davis.
Yeah.
Jalen Davis, the guy I love from Washington. He's a 6'3" point guard. That plays more like he plays more like Brandon Sturts than the other guys. And he announced his 5 schools: Stanford, UC, Stanford, Gonzaga. We discussed it last time. Iowa, teams like that.
Yeah. I guess we should mention that Tavian Banks is probably not coming back to Iowa.
He's not.
He's not, because he is looking at other schools, and in his announcement he said what the best fit is for him.
Yeah.
But I mean that
him and Iowa both have announced today that he's not coming to Iowa.
Yeah.
And
I wonder what he did. I wonder what he did to piss Ben off, because he was a big contributor to their run last year.
Ben and him back in April, Tavian, which is saving him because another ruling today. Tavian entered the transfer portal like the 5th of April this year.
Right.
And that saves him. Mm-hmm. And him and Ben talked, and he goes, if you can get this court case, sue and get this court case real quick, you can come back and play for us. But he says, if you ain't going to get that done, I gotta go on like you're not going to be here. And Tavian, I don't even think Tavian ever even sued anybody. And he had to use a court in the state of Iowa, according to Ben. And he didn't do it, so Ben went forward, and Tavian knew that. So Tavian went into the transfer portal, and the judge ruled today that her ruling, whatever it was, a player who's come back for their 5th year, like Taylor McCabe, Hannah Stokey, you're only allowed to come back to the team you're on now. You can't say, now I'm going in the transfer portal. Tavian already went in, so he's saved. So that's the new ruling. And you can only come back unless you went into the transfer portal way back. You got to come back to the school that you were at. So that's what was ruled today. So,
yeah. So Hink says that Iowa cannot take him back. I wish you'd have Okay. This is, I think, the explanation. Roster filled. I think he's short, isn't he? One player, isn't he short one roster spot?
Ben can add another guy and give him 16 guys, but Nate Cook would be grandfathered in as a walk-on. They had that rule that if you were a walk-on at Iowa previously, you can be grandfathered in. That's according to Ben, but Ben ain't going to get another player. So.
Yeah, he said. Yeah, they said according to this, he's saving money to get another guard next year. Okay, so that takes care of that.
I just think that Ben thinks he's got plenty of players, and he don't know how to squeeze them all onto the court as it is. And he's got plenty of guys that are freshmen, redshirt freshmen, sophomores that are
that's the problem.
Both are the same size as Tavian Bank. So
yeah, okay, and
doesn't have anything to do with money. So
okay, and as far as Hannah Stokey, I believe she's already signed the contract with Italy, so that makes her a pro, and she cannot come back.
I don't know. I don't know that for sure. People have guessed that, but I don't know if it's true. That league don't play until September or October. I don't know.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. It's just
again, the Iowa women are the ones that
everybody's
the Iowa women are the ones that have a short roster.
Yeah, I know it. It would be nice to see Taylor McCabe come back, but she transferred to Notre Dame for her master's, and so
and she's on the basketball staff there. So
is she on the basketball staff? I did not know that.
She's a GA, a grad assistant. So.
Yeah, that I wasn't aware of. Okay, Toll House is pointing out something that I thought for sure you would point out. Happy birthday, Kirk Ferentz! Congratulations to my Minnesota Lynx. Let's trade for Caitlin Clark. I think the Fever are going to try to get Brink to come to them in a trade. Wouldn't that be cool if Brink actually came to the Fever?
The Fever would gladly trade Caitlin for Olivia Miles. So.
She better.
Olivia Miles is, to me, the closest thing to. She ain't near as big as Cheryl Miller, but to me, she's just the most. And you got to remember, Olivia Miles is just like Caitlin was her rookie year. She's running out of gas because she played a whole basketball season at TCU, wherever she was. And now she jumps right in and is playing. You notice they rested her quite a bit of the third quarter or something. She's probably really tired. Caitlin said it was very hot in there today, up there in Minnesota. Anyway, but yeah, I think Caitlin's staying where she's at. But anyway.
All right, I'm going to read some of these. Okay, Bob Hoffman says, okay, hang on. I'm glad we are contributing to the rivalry with Iowa State, continuing the rivalry with Iowa State, but I would like to try scheduling them later in the schedule. Seems under the current scenario, we are still getting out of our sea legs.
I don't know. What you want to play? You want to play Ohio State the second game of the season instead? I'd rather play Iowa State, but anyway.
I would rather see us play Iowa State the third game. Yeah, I mean, just for what he said, we're still working out the kinks. You know, if Iowa State, I mean, I know that many people picked them last in the Big 12, but I don't believe they're going to finish there. I think if they're going to be, they got a decent coach and they got some decent players that transferred in. If they can make it all work, they'll be dangerous. And people are going to overlook them this year.
Yeah, like I said, I have no clue. All these people are saying Iowa State's terrible this year. I don't know how anybody knows.
But. We don't know. You know, that's the hard thing. That's the hard thing with getting in transfer players now in the NIL. You don't really know what you got until they play a game together.
Yeah, we don't even know what kind of offense or defense they're going to run, and they probably won't even show it the first game. You know, it's like Signetti coming to Indiana. I know this coach don't have Signetti's Cuban money, but you never know. You never know how good this guy is,
Yeah.
and
King
how good
says
his
way
face
too
is.
many hybrid players. This is why when we get behind on comments, I don't know what we're referring to.
Way
'Cause
too
we
many
get way
hybrids.
behind. Yeah.
Oh, he's talking about Tavian Banks. Be way too many. I guess he calls them hybrid players, wing players.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Hoffman says he hopes Bank gets a lot of money wherever he goes. He'll still be a Hawkeye in our hearts, even though we had him for 1 year. Nobody thought Indiana would be any good last year with all the new players. God, they were a better team than they were the year before.
Well, he meant the first year.
Okay.
We all picked Indiana last in the Big Ten that year when we did our predictions.
That's
show.
because we're always used to Indiana being that way. You
Yeah.
know?
And we didn't know who the hell Signetti was.
Yeah. And
'Cause
this
we
year
didn't do our
everybody's picking
homework.
Purdue. This year everybody's picking Purdue to finish last this year. Maybe they don't. You know, and they got Iowa picked to finish 7th, 8th, or 9th in some polls. You know, maybe they go on a losing streak this year. We don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. Boy says, I'm gonna try to get this one up here and read this. Once she signed in contract, pro Hannah. Yeah. Well, that's what I was trying to say. If she indeed has signed with Italy, which she probably has, I would see no reason not to.
I'm sure she signed a contract. I don't know if she's gotten any money or anything. I have no clue. Don't know. But people are jumping to the conclusion she's not eligible to come back. You know, so I don't know. I don't know if she's still in the United States. I know she was fishing the other day with her mother, so she wasn't gone 3-4 days ago yet.
Yeah. Tohal says you were right about the year he was choosing to talk about Cincinnati and Indiana. Okay.
I knew he just misspoke, you know.
Okay. Before we get back to football, do you got any more men's or women's news?
Well, we pretty much know who the women are recruiting also. Sienna and Nation Williams. I think most pundits are wrong, but they think whichever one of them two commits first will only take one of them. Then there's Cam Manyow's sister, and then there's the great big 6'5" center from Hartwell. She's from South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And with her visit list, you'd think she must be thinking about coming to Iowa, and pundits think we'll only take one of them two. And then the other one, the girl up to Minnesota, that guard, Maya, do you remember what her last name was?
Wilson.
My brain. Wilson.
Williams, one of the two.
Yeah, Wilson. She's got another sister. People were saying, some of us people that thought we knew something and thought, well, she's from Minnesota. She'll probably go to Minnesota. She's not going to Minnesota. So
got to be Iowa then.
They don't have to be, but anyway, she's a good player. And then the other one was somebody we just offered, a point guard who's 5'7", and I can't remember her name, but she's from Colorado. And people said, well, why would we offer her? Why? And I go, I know why. And well, what do you mean? What do you mean you know why? And I go, it's to take Bria Medina's place. I said, well, Medina can have a 5th year. And I said, well, that don't mean she's going to come back.
Yeah. And that, you can't, only Ava said she's going to use all 5 years. But if she has the kind of year that we think she will have, she might be going to the WNBA next year. Yeah, but she'd be foolish to turn down WNBA money to come back for one more year.
Yeah. Even on 3, people argued with me that, Bria will come back. And I go, Bria will come back, probably wants to come back, but that don't mean she gets to come back.
I love some of these comments.
That's the way a program is run. And then I keep mentioning to them, I said, well, hell, we can take all these girls because we got a lot of scholarships open. Even with Amari Whiting coming back, we still have room for all these people. Well, I don't think Jan would take them. Why wouldn't she?
Yeah.
It ain't like other than Nation Williams. Nation Williams is going to cost some moolah if
Yeah.
she comes, which I don't think she will. You know, but why would Jan not take high school girls that don't cost money?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because if her otherwise, you got to go to the transfer portal, and Jan just says, "I don't have money to spend on," and you know, you got to pay. You got to pay Carnegie, Chit Chat, Ava Hayden,
Velisco.
all them. Yeah, all them. If Willitsko's real good this year, if Journey Houston's real good, you got to give more money to them girls.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay. I'm going to catch us up on some comments before we fall further behind.
Go ahead.
Okay, Toolhouse says, I hope players that sign pro contracts is do not come back. I don't want them coming back, for instance. Yeah, I think if they sign, they're pros. They can't come back. Hink says Banks put out a farewell message to Iowa. I did see that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was kind of hoping when he put that out there that Iowa wasn't off the table, but apparently it was.
But he was very smart to go in the portal.
So that opens it up the door for him.
So that leaves him open where he could go other places. According to this judge, she did not, or he, I think it was a woman, but that judge did not rule that you could leave for money to go to other schools.
Yeah.
And if you were still a member, still on, you know, whatever, you had to go to your former school unless you had already announced intentions to transfer, which Tavian was smart enough to do so.
Yeah. Tollhouse says Jan seems to offer everybody, kind of like the rowing football coach up north. Well, I said that on the Lad podcast. It just seems like we're throwing offers out there to everybody.
Jan offers everybody that is really good. You don't offer, you know, certain players. Me and Dean have talked about privately and stuff. She don't offer people that she doesn't want a commitment from. You know?
Yeah, so. I get it. Yeah. She's throwing out there and see what sticks. It can't hurt. I mean, because she's bound to get somebody. I mean, she got Velisco this year. She's got that Jada girl next year. And last year she got, God, I already forgot her name. Addie Deal, yeah. So, I mean, they're starting to get these big name girls to come look at Iowa, and 3 of them now committed. And so, you know, one of them just didn't stay. I can't imagine how good this team would have been if she'd have stayed.
I couldn't imagine the guy that said that we won't take Cam Manyow's sister if we get that 6'5" post. And I thought, Cam Manyow's sister's the number 23 player in the country. We're not going to take her? Are you kidding me? I mean, she's down to us in Oklahoma.
Yeah, the scouting report on her is that she's not a very good perimeter shooter, or that she plays more, you know, into the basket. Kind of sounds like her brother a little bit, because her brother's not a perimeter player either.
I watched one highlight of her playing for the All Iowa Attack, and in that one highlight, she hits a 3-pointer. It's like, I don't know. All I know is she's 6'3", but by looking at the tape, I think she jumps. Her hand gets much higher than the 6'5" girl when she jumps. She's, you know, some girls can jump and some can't. You know, it's like the Timpson girl for the Indiana Fever. She can jump, you know, even though she's kind of an undersized power forward.
Too bad they lost today. But boy, it looked like Mitchell had a heck of a game. I was at church when they were playing, but it looked like Mitchell. I looked up at the scoreboard, and Mitchell looked like Mitchell had a game today. Quite the game.
Well, the whole Fever team had quite a game. It's just that the Lynx couldn't miss. You know,
how many games in a row have the? I was just going to say, how many games in a row have the Fever now scored over 100 points? Because it's been several games in a row now.
Oh, they listed that they scored done it 15 times this year or something. the Lynx, that was their 10th win in a row, so it ain't like
Lynx have the best record in the WNBA. They're number one seed for the playoffs.
and then they
didn't lose to a slouch today.
And they have the runner up for the MVP just came back a week ago, Nafise Collier. So they're going to be better. So
I got a question for you. I mean, who do you think is in the running for the WNBA most valuable player? Who do you think has it right now wrapped up?
Asia Wilson's the number one with Olivia Miles too.
Okay, the reason why I'm asking is because if Caitlin Clark can kind of continue the tear she's been on in the month of July into August and September and October, will she have a shot legitimately to get MVP? Because she has been on a tear. I mean, she's averaging like 29 points for the last, how many games in July?
My answer would be that Asia Wilson would have to falter some, which Asia Wilson's never faltered in her life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's going to happen because they're going to judge Caitlyn on her whole season, and there's a bunch of voters out there who don't like Caitlyn. So,
oh yeah. Hey, by the way, I turned on
Caitlyn don't deserve it, in my opinion, with Asia Wilson. And Olivia Miles was so great today; it was ridiculous.
Yeah. Was Olivia Miles a Lynx?
The second pick in the draft behind.
Yeah, I know that she was, but I mean, is she at the Lynx? Because I mean, how did the Lynx were a decent team last year? How did they get a playoff? How did they get a second pick?
Because I think it was the Chicago Sky or something, are really stupid and traded away their number one pick.
That was stupid because they're just like struggling. And I want to point out that the Dallas Wings have turned it around this year. The biggest turnaround in WNBA history. And
they better quit losing.
Yeah, of course they had Becker on the team. They're starting to lose now.
Yeah, the Wings lost like 3 out of 4 or something. The Fever were ahead of it. The Fever were ahead of them in the standings going into today, but
by half a game.
Yeah. But the Wings would have been a lot better if they'd have drafted Olivia Miles. Fudd's a very good shooter.
Yeah, and I believe the Dream was the other team that had a pretty historical turnaround from last year.
Maybe, I don't know.
But here's something I noticed, and I don't know if these people whether they want to talk WNBA or not, but here's something I noticed is where was I going with this? Of course, Beckers and what's her name? Angel Reese had on video and TikTok and all over the place and social media that $400 bet. I don't remember if it was for the game they were playing against each other or the All-Star game.
That was the one they were playing against each other a couple days after the All-Star game.
Yeah. And so that, it sounds like Becker didn't really want to do it, but she said, well, I guess, if I said that, I guess I don't remember her exact wordings, but basically she said she would honor it and she had to pay up, I understand. But the question is
they claim that it was a joke, which when this went out, I said, well, they'll probably claim it was a joke, but it'd be very easy if the WNBA, they don't want to get to the bottom of it, but it'd be very easy to see if any Reese claimed that the money was exchanged on some Apple app or something. It'd be very easy to take their phones like they did Tom Brady and everything and look in there and look at financial things. But I still think it was probably a joke. The WNBA is the one that put the video out. It wasn't Beckers and Reese. It was WNBA. And then they quickly took it down because they knew that, we shouldn't be promoting gambling. No.
And I mean, the WNBA is not going to do anything about it because that was 2 of their major stars. And so, imagine what would happen during those games if those 2 were suspended.
Well, if it really happened, they wouldn't be suspended; they'd be banned. But.
Yeah, that too. Yeah. Okay, Bob Hoffman says there's a question, a legitimate question. With the current roster, does Iowa women have any scholarships open for next year? I believe they do because they only have 11-player roster.
we have 11 players, and 2 of them will be 5th years next year.
Yeah,
Whiting and Bria Medina, and
we don't know if they're coming back
we
yet.
got
We
plenty.
don't know.
We have plenty of scholarships left. We just couldn't. We didn't have any more money to pay transfers to come. So anyway.
Yeah. And I know that when they
you.
talked about, I know when Jan talked about it originally, she said they would have to find players that were willing to come here for free.
Yeah, I do agree with Dean. I would, if I was a Fever, I would trade for Cameron Brink, and I would trade Raven Johnson, our #1 pick. Probably take a little more than that, but maybe not, because Brink ain't doing much for the Sparks. And she's making a lot of money. She's making about the same money that Caitlyn is.
They came in the league
year.
at the same time, didn't they?
Yeah, and they'll make way more next year because they get a boost to, I don't know, close to it's up near $1 million a year next year. So
Huffman said provided they fill the roster this year and everybody that's here wants to stay. We'll see. How many we just have 2 girls, right, on the team that could stay for a 5th year next year?
Yeah.
Cambria Bree,
Medina and Amari Whiting.
Yeah, those are the only 2 real seniors on the team. Just to think, when we were talking about the end of the season before we knew everybody was leaving and the transfers, we were talking about how this team had no seniors for next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and so I do want to say though, Terry, who was on here last week, he came on and we had a talk and everything. He and I are working on a major guest, and he and I worded it and everything, and he talked me into changing my Twitter accounts, and so we did that. And but anyway, I don't think the Kirk Ferentz thing is going to happen, guys. I would love for it, but we needed to push to get it done before football season. But I do know that during the season, Kirk will sit down and talk to people like Chad Lysicle and stuff, people he trusts.
Well, I've never known Kirk to do stuff like that during the season, even with them. But he does his news conferences every week. And by the way, on Saturday they had orientation. Kirk's kind of busy. I don't think that's
he's busy. Yeah, he's busy. It's not going to happen. But hey.
But that's
maybe after the season. Yeah, well, no, I'm just thinking if we could talk about
Trevor Lauk on tonight.
Yeah, can't get bigger than that.
First softball coach on again, or
softball coach is going to come on, but not on this show. She's gonna come on Terry's show, and then I'm going to guest host with Terry on that one.
Yeah,
but or we thought about running it simultaneously on both shows at the same time.
I know last week he said he wanted you and me to interview her instead of the way he did it before, but whatever.
No, that was he was talking about the baseball coach that they interviewed. They wanted they wanted me to come on and do it.
I was talking about when he was talking about the softball coach two or 3 nights ago.
Okay.
So I said I would like to ask her about where she grew up and and about her kids, how many kids she's got and all that stuff. But anyway.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll get personal. Alrighty. I guess I want to point out one more time the link for Cocaine Coffee is scrolling. Wait a minute. It's not there.
Oh, you got your.
It is scrolling on the bottom. Okay, Cocaine Coffee. Go to that website and use your Villains 15 code for 15% off. Okay. What else is on our agenda? I forgot.
Is there are 2 deeps for the fall.
Yep.
They'll take a
Okay.
while. They'll take a while, but
Yeah, why don't we go ahead and get started on that? I think we covered the rest of this. Oh, wait a minute. You wanted to talk about the bill running through Congress that the SEC and the Big Ten supposedly can't agree on, but now do agree on. I'm so confused on what's going on there. But you wanted to talk about that, and then
well, that's the main thing with that they say they're not going to give partial antitrust exemption to the conference, to the NCAA, is instead of having this outside NIL, they're going to boost the revenue share all the way up to 48 point something million. But players are not supposed to be able to get outside NIL. I don't know how you keep Caitlyn from getting money from the insurance companies and stuff, State Farm and stuff. But anyway, that's their plan. 48 million, 5 million has to go to women's sports. And that's what this bill says. And I'd be in favor of that if they could eliminate the other 30 million from oil companies and from Nike and that all these other schools get. Boy, Kirk would be terribly happy with that. And that means that the schools could raise money themselves to replace their revenue loss. That would, and you're not going to be able to run it through Learfield like Beth is planning on doing this year under current rules. And one transfer, they want a person to only have one transfer in their career in college, which
I don't think you can
I don't
do
know
that.
I don't know how the courts are, but if they give antitrust, then the courts don't have nothing to say about it. It's they don't. Antitrust means like the NFL has antitrust. If they lay down the rules, when you have antitrust, that means the controlling organization can make the rules and you got to live by it or, not play in the NFL, or not play in the NCAA. So that's in a nutshell, that's what it is. You'd have a hard salary cap of 48.1 million, and Iowa would be going around trying to get all their donors to give them that much money to
match it.
Yeah.
Okay. All righty. Toll House says I'm getting paid for the cocaine coffee promos. Question mark. Yes, they do roast it about a mile from here. So it's Toll House that is, and he says he's joking about getting paid, of course, and it's good coffee. And so the one thing I wanted to point out is I know you were joking, but I don't even get paid yet. I don't know when I'm going to get paid. If I will get paid, we'll find out.
Probably never.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Okay.
Anyway, this bill in Congress is supposed to easily pass the Senate and then run into problems in the House of Representatives.
Let me guess. The House of Representatives is either full of SEC people or Big Ten people, and one of them don't like the other, so they're gonna.
They're full of both. The House of Representatives represent. It's just a larger group that it's harder to get, agreement when you have. Is the House of Representatives like 500 people or something? 480 or something?
Yeah, I don't remember how many people represent each state. I think it varies according to your size.
If I remember right. Well, I was going to say it's the same number as Electoral College, like 535. But anyway, whatever. Don't matter. We're getting a little too deep here.
Yeah. Okay. Boy says Fever made some dumb mistakes. Like Bostonian shuffling her feet towards the. Oh, okay. I gotta get new. I gotta get new glasses.
He's probably talking about he he writes funny, but he's probably talking about Boston getting that wide open shot at the top of the key instead of taking it from Caitlyn. She traveled, probably shuffled her feet.
Well, I noticed one thing
I
last
can't
night.
read anything he says, but I'm presuming when you said something about shuffling feet that's what he was talking about.
Yeah. So was it last night or the night before when the Fever played? And they gave up that big lead, but Caitlyn was trying to get her triple double, and she was trying so hard to get passes to people who couldn't handle her passes, so she could get that extra assist that she needed last night or the night before. Yeah. Now, you said something too about Caitlyn. Some Caitlyn news, or is that just we just were going to discuss her?
We're just going to mention it. Caitlyn, keeps cooking. If we're not going to talk, if Caitlyn ain't in the WNBA, we ain't talking about it on this podcast because we're Hawkeye news. So
yeah,
we gotta put Caitlyn in the headline if we want to talk about it.
Yeah.
And Caitlyn said after the game today, she said that in the second half they decided they had to try to lock down Olivia Miles, which I think Olivia Miles had 23 points at halftime and only ended up with 27. So they did a good job. So,
good. Yeah.
But Caitlyn keeps playing really good. I mean, I think she's kind of healthy. Maybe.
Yeah. Okay, anybody want to answer that question? The last time Iowa football played Notre Dame without looking it up? Nobody's answered it yet. Okay, at the end of the show, I'll let you tell people what you think it is.
Well, I thought I knew, and then I thought, no, we played after that. But I'll give you a guess, but you don't know.
Now.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Alrighty, let's start with our two deeps. So let's start at our quarterback. I mean, we know what our two deeps are, but we don't know who's one and who's two.
Yeah, what's your two deep for quarterback?
I'm going to go with Brown as starter, Helinski as number two. Oh, this is funny. Tollhouse says 1 hour into the show, not a mention about Iowa quarterback situation.
That's perfect. The only thing I'm trying to guess the two deep. So I'm going to guess when the two deep comes out, when they put out the first one, whether it's in a week or two, whatever, the first one will have two guys on the number one line, Brown and Eklinski, and then the second team will be Jimmy
Sullivan.
Yeah.
Okay. Tollhouse says, I know Iowa played Notre Dame in 1959 at Notre Dame. It was my first football game. Iowa won, but 1959 is not the answer.
No, and they were going to play the day after Kennedy was assassinated, but that got canceled in '63. But that was not the last time they played. They didn't play. No.
I'll give a hint. They played since the Kennedy assassination.
I know that. That's why I was going to guess. I was going to guess a few years later, not very many. But.
Yeah. Okay. Tollhouse says, yes, I was a 2-year-old in the crowd, but I don't remember a thing, of course. Yeah. I do have a vivid memory of something from when I was 2 years old, but I won't go into it now. It was not a good thing. But but I wasn't sure if I dreamt it or if it actually happened, but I saw a picture in my mom's stash of pictures that just confirmed that I remembered correctly.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so alrighty. So
running back.
Did you do your quarterback yet?
I did. I said we'd have two on the number one line and Jimmy Sullivan as the number two quarterback.
Okay, alrighty.
Prediction.
Yeah, and I think honestly, the first three games, all three of them, all two of them play. I mean, they might even play Jimmy if things get really out of hand. But
I don't know.
Everybody knows that Kirk Ferentz doesn't like to blow out games.
Yeah. We're just giving our two deep, and I think when they have somebody tied at number one or number two, Kirk always lists or, And I think it'll be Brown or Hecklinski, number 1.
Okay,
and then it'll be Jimmy Sullivan, number 2. That's the way I see it. So, I wouldn't know who to pick number 1. I really, truly don't.
My gut feeling is they play the first 3 games and they blow out all 3 teams.
Yeah.
And so I think Lester wants to see what's going on. I know that Kirk has said he would never do a 2-quarterback system ever again. But and I gotta say I don't feel good about either of these quarterbacks. So
I feel good about both of them. Are we gonna, before your legs give out, are we gonna do our 2 deep on the one running back position?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, hang on for a second though. Toll House says he thinks the last game was in 1968 against Notre Dame.
Yeah, I was gonna say 67, but it was just a guess.
At this point, I'm not going to confirm or deny it. I'm going to wait and see if anybody else has any guesses.
I just hope Dean makes it through the podcast.
Well, it switched legs. I mean, I was doing good.
I know. That's why I'm trying to speed up. I'm trying to speed up the depth chart here.
At church, it was my right leg, and now I got home and it was fine. And then for about an hour, it was fine, and then it switched to the left leg. Okay, running back. Starter, Kamari Moulton.
Yep.
Backup, R.J. Phillips. L.J. Phillips.
Well, I'm gonna do another one. I'm gonna say Kamari Moulton first team is gonna be named. That'll be the first depth chart that comes out, and then it'll say Xavier Williams or L.J. Phillips. I don't think Kirk wants to piss off any more running backs than he has to.
So who would be the number 2 one then?
I said Williams or Phillips.
Okay, so you're saying they're not going to name another one?
Gave it to Phillips. Some of the guys that have been here are going to say, "Well, hell, Phillips just got here. How could he be number 2 already?"
Okay, Vandy, I want to know: did you look it up? Because you come in with some details that I didn't have before. October 5th, 1968. So Toll House was the first one to say 1968. Notre Dame won 51-28. That's the last time those 2 played.
Well, Vandy
used AI. He had to use AI.
I'm amazed that he knew October. I know he's the biggest Iowa fan, but I'm just amazed he knew it was October 5th. Yeah.
And the score. Oh, Vandy's good.
Hey, Vandy, how's Brandon Scherf doing getting them players ready for his first season of coaching at Denison? You said you were his best friend and you knew that he was going to be coaching this year, so I was just asking.
All right. Okay.
I got to poke the bear once in a while.
All right. The wide receiver, one wide receiver, Vanderzee and Dayton Howard. At another wide receiver spot, we're going to have Diaz and Jared Bowie. At another wide receiver spot, Evan James and KJ Parker.
Okay. I'm going to have Vanderzee and Diaz and Howard starting. And the backup for Diaz is Evan James. I think they're kind of the same size and everything. And I'm going to surprise everybody with Bowie and Brody Schaefer as the other backup wide receivers.
Well, they're saying good things about Brody Schaefer. People are.
He hasn't even practiced at Iowa yet. But
Calvin,
I just think he's really good.
Okay, Vandy says, Calvin, I grew up an Iowa fan. My mother was a Notre Dame fan.
Well, so how's Brandon Scherf doing with his new team coaching?
Okay. Alrighty. So tight end, number 1, DJ Vename. Number 2 on this 2 line, Addison Astringa.
Okay. Well, I said pick 2 tight ends because we start 2 of them. I'm gonna go with this with Venami and Ostrenga as the 2 starters, with Myers backing up Ostrenga because he's big like Ostrenga, and then Mason Woods will be kind of a hybrid guy that backs up Venami, who's kind of so fast that he's kind of a hybrid too. That's my take.
Alrighty. At left end, number 1, Trevor Locke. Number 2, Will Nolan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Your turn.
You're just going to do one offensive lineman at a time? I'll just.
Okay, I could actually go all through all of them. Okay.
Because I know your
All
legs are bothering you.
I got left guard, Leighton Jones and Cade Pieper. Center, I have Cale Winter and Malinsky.
Mm-hmm.
At right guard, I've got Trent Wilson and Lucas Allgaier. At right tackle, I got Jack Dotzler and Cannon Leonard.
Okay. I'm going to go with the same 2 left tackles you got. Left guard, Leighton Jones, backed up by Trent Wilson. I'm going to go center, Cade Pieper, backed up by Cale Winter. At right guard, I'm going to go Allgaier, backed up by Mislinski. At right tackle is Doutzler. I guess I'm going with Leonard, backup right tackle.
Okay. Alrighty. Specialist field goal kicker. The only name I have because I couldn't find the other backup is Ozick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll go with Ozick starting, and Caden Burr from Bettendorf here in the Quad Cities will be the backup place kicker.
Alrighty.
Punter.
Okay, now we're going to do our defense.
Well, do your punter.
Okay, my punter is Tanner Philpott and Austin Everett, 1 and 2.
Me too.
Okay. My returners.
Okay.
KJ Parker and give me a second.
Yeah.
Jalen Watson.
Okay. I'm going to go with my punt returners are Loopmer and the backup Jackson Nave. As the kickoff return guys, I'm going to go with Brevin Dowell and Jackson Naves. And I don't think I have to give any backups for them, but
No.
okay.
Alrighty. Ready.
Defense.
So I guess we're up to defense now, huh?
Yeah, defensive ends. I know you got Appy starting, right?
Yep. At the right side.
Mm-hmm.
And Kenneth Merriweather on the left.
Mm-hmm. You have their backups?
Okay, Merriweather's backup is Joseph Anderson, and Epineza is Kamari Brown. I think people think he could actually start too, so he might be able to.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Epineza, and the guy that plays on that side is Drew Campbell. I'm gonna put Drew Campbell in the second team. Merriweather and Brown and Anderson all play on the other side, and I'm gonna say that they're gonna let Merriweather start because he's a veteran. They need some veteran leadership. Merriweather start, followed up by Brown. Anderson would be the third one, but hopefully Anderson blossoms and.
Okay, Vandy Chris has an explanation for you to your question. He is currently a volunteer working with the O-line. He spent $1.5 million to have new turfs installed at the school.
Cool.
Okay. Alrighty. So where are we at now?
Now we're at defensive tack, the interior defensive line.
Okay. Bryce Stevenson, backed up by Will Hubert. Bryce Hawthorne, backed up by Emmanuel. I can't even say that last name.
Olabaju.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with of course, Bryce Hawthorne's kind of a given as a starter, supposedly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go with, I guess I'm going to go with, I want to go with Kennedy, but I'll go with Luke Gaffney, and then the backup for Hawthorne, Will Hubert, and the backup for Gaffney will be shared by, they'll have two guys on the two line, Kennedy and Olabaju.
Okay. All right.
Linebacker. We got
two linebackers, right?
we have a middle linebacker, a Will linebacker, and then we got that Leo linebacker. So
okay. Leighton Van Kerky, backed up by Derek Weiskopf. That's middle. No, that's wide. Middle is Jaden Montgomery, backed up by Cam Buffington. I don't know. I think Buffington will probably end up playing more than I think he will. And you said Leo and Cash?
no, just a Leo linebacker position. It's separate from Cash.
Okay. I don't have that here.
And right now, Van Kekrich is listed as the starter there.
Okay.
Anyway, right now they got Bosworth Buffington as a starting middle linebacker with Jaden Montgomery playing that the other linebacker, the Will.
Yeah.
And the Leo Van Kekrich, I'll put DeLong behind Buffington. I'll put Weiskopf behind what's his name? Montgomery, and I'll put Preston Reese if he's healthy, missed all spring. I'll put Preston Reese, the beast, at that backup Leo linebacker right now.
Yeah.
My prediction. But
alrighty.
now you can do your Cash.
Cash is Lutmer and Preston Reese.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
What about your cornerbacks? I have my Cash as what's his name? Wallace. And backup Cash, Marcello Vitti. Go ahead with your cornerbacks.
Okay. Left cornerback is Jalen Watson, backed up by Coffrey. Man, we're actually pretty deep because he could start too. Yeah. Right cornerback is Deshaun Lee. I hope he's better than he has been. And Jacob Wallace, which I was hearing good things about Wallace, so he may
I think he's the star. I think he'll start at Cash because Lutmer's not going to see the Cash position this year. I don't think. But I'm going to go with. I don't know. You might be right. Everybody knows Lee's our best cornerback, and then Watson's in the lead on the other side. Back up Watson with Godfrey. Yeah. And then put Darian Jones, the true freshman from Omaha, at the other cornerback backup. So.
Yeah. Hey, Terry, say hi. He's saying hi, fellas. Terry, how did your podcast go tonight? I know you had a former or current football coach on from a smaller school. Okay. Vandy also says the booster clubs at the school decided to give Willie Ballman a second year. Okay. The boosters. Did you notice that? The boosters control the coaches. That's pretty bad. That's pretty bad.
I don't know. I have no idea how Denison is run, but
Terry says
the boosters never controlled anything at my little old school. But
yeah, they did at mine.
All the boosters did was raise money for new uniforms, mostly.
I could tell you right now, I think they ran it at mine because I think it was all political, considering who was starting, who was playing, and who wasn't playing. But anyway, that's another story for another day.
Well, we had biased coaches that had their lineups figured out 2 years in advance. They were the dumb ones, But the good coach, my great football coach I had, he didn't work that way. Anyway.
Okay. Finally, safeties. Okay. Strong safeties. Anthony Hawkins, backed up by Ty Hutchinson. And free safety is Tyler Brown, backed up by Xavier Styles.
Okay. I got, of course, Lutmer at the Quinn Schulte free safety position, whatever they call it, because they got to have a experienced guy back there that knows the Iowa defense and calls the coverages out back there. He's the only one we have available that knows the Iowa defense and is experienced. And as Tim Lester says, Lutmer yells at the offense what play they're going to run before they snap. You know.
Okay.
So he knows how to get them guys in order. And Kirk Ferentz said in his news conference, Zach is our free safety. So I pretty much know he's our free safety. And the other guys, the other three safeties, of course, Tyler Brown's been very good. And the other two transfers, Hawkins and Styles, I think will be the other two backup safeties.
Okay, I'm going to read these real quick. Terry says his podcast went great. I'm having a hard time reading, and I'm also having a hard time putting up any comments anymore. Kelvin, keep up the throat training, and before you know it, you will guzzle down that 2 liter in one breath.
This has lasted me about 8 hours, so depending on what time it is. Yeah, about 8 hours. So.
Okay, all righty. Guys, I think this is a good place to wrap up the show tonight. I know it's not super long, a little over an hour, but
well, and your legs are bothering you, so.
Yep, my leg is bothering me.
Yep.
Yep. Time to go out for another walk.
Yep, that's why I tried to speed up the depth charts and stuff, because I knew you were not comfortable at all. And
yep.
Everything.
Guys, well, you know what? I'm gonna run that. I'm gonna run the commercial again. Cocaine coffee. If you need your pickup, I know.
So 1968 was the correct answer for the Notre Dame game.
It was. All right. Next time on Wednesday, I'll come up with a little harder question.
That's a hard question.
Yeah, but 2 people got it right off the bat. So.
Oh, who was the second one? We know
Vandy
looked it up.
Toll House and Vandy.
Well, we know Vandy looked it up. He didn't know the exact date and score. You know. So.
All right. Can I finish this commercial? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. If you need go to cocainecoffee.com. Use the code Villains15 for 15% off. Toll House is already verified that it's a great coffee, and he recommends it, I think. And he wants to get paid for saying that. I know, Toll House. I know you was just joking. I just know you were joking.
Hey, Dean, you know what my dad always said?
What?
Wanting and getting's 2 different things. Dad, I want this for Christmas. Well, son, wanting and getting's 2 different things.
Yeah.
Santa Claus will bring you what he brings you.
Yeah. So I got to tell you, growing up, My family, okay, like when I was a kid, PF Flyers were the shoe to have, okay? You needed PF Flyers. Guess what I got? Kmart knockoff version.
When you were a kid. Oh.
Yeah. I don't. Do you remember PF Flyers?
No, I remember the sled that I got for Christmas had something flyer on it, but I
No,
don't
but
remember PF Flyers.
they were a tennis shoe. They were a fancy
I
tennis
remember
shoe.
I remember Chuck whatever All Stars. As far as basketball shoes, us kids, we never got nothing like that. And by the
Yeah.
way, I never I heard people talking about Kmart, and I was never in a Kmart until I was 28 years old. That was like 1990. So,
What do you mean? That's what we lived at Kmart when I was growing up. Kmart was
well,
the place to go.
you were a city kid. It was 28 miles it was 28 miles from Mechanicsville to Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and we were dairy farmers. And the only time we went to Cedar Rapids one time a year, and that was to go get school clothes. And we did not go into Kmart, so that's the truth. So anyway.
Okay, wait a minute. Hang on. The people are commenting on this one. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Vandy goes, was Kmart a thing when you were a kid? Yes. I didn't think they were around that long ago. They were. Kmart was around when I was a kid.
They were around when I was like in 1970, because I remember we had this terrible bus driver, and this little girl when she was getting off the bus, she turned to that woman bus driver and she goes, "Where'd you get your driver's license? Kmart?" Like that. And I remember asking my buddy sitting with me, I said, "What the hell's Kmart?"
Yeah. Yeah, I think Kmart started out as Kresge stores. They were like downtown, and then they eventually went away and became Kmart. I could be wrong on that. Toll House says blue light special was legendary. Yep, you always ran over to the blue light. Vandy says Kmart was a big deal in Carroll in the 70s. Yeah, Vandy, I didn't graduate high school until 1975, so yeah, it was a big deal.
Now, the Kmart in Cedar Rapids was right across First Avenue from Lindale Mall, but I never went there.
Toll House says I was a Kmart manager. It was my first job after college. Mom made me take the job because she was afraid I wouldn't get any other deal. Any other offers? I too was a manager at Kmart for a couple of years. I worked as a hardlines manager.
Well, the Walmart
in Marshalltown. In Marshalltown, in case anybody wanted to know.
Walmart mostly, but then also Target just got kind of wiped. Kmart. There's still Kmarts, I think, but not very many.
No, there's actually, I think there's maybe one left in the whole United States.
Oh.
There's no Sears and no Kmarts, pretty much. Yeah. I knew that once Kmart bought Sears, that Sears' demise was not that far away. No. Carroll has a Kmart, had a Kmart, and Denison had Palmyra. I love shopping at Palmyra. I really did. That and what's the other store in Iowa that people love to shop at? Kind of like a do-it-yourself store.
Hank's Hardware. I don't know.
No. One of our listeners actually, or viewers actually works at that store. Menards.
When I was a kid, there was Woolworths, and Woolworths was a huge line of stores across the United States. But
yeah. So okay, let me finish reading these. Okay, Toll House says he was a Kmart manager in Council Bluffs, Iowa, and Hastings, Nebraska. I was at Hastings, Nebraska to help an Albertsons store that was struggling. When I used to be a manager at Albertsons.
Yeah, my friend. I have a friend whose son is the CEO of Target now.
Okay, that's pretty good. Yeah,
he grew up on a farm. Grew up in a farm up at Manchester, Owine and Manchester, in that area.
Okay, Toll House says, thankfully he got off that ship. Me too. I actually got fired because the numbers weren't very good for me, and they didn't like me anyway, so they were looking for an excuse to get rid of me because I said something to the HR director, and that was my demise. But that was the happiest day of my life when I got out of there.
That
Working for
Kmart,
working for Kmart as a manager, and the hellhole they put me through. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, Vandy Chris says Alco. I know about Alcos. I think there's one up in Gardner. Toll House says I remember Cooks and Shopco. I remember Shopco's too. I think I remember one being in Hampton. I could be wrong. I don't remember Cooks though. Going down memory lanes in all of our stores. Vandy says S&S Hardware. Menards is another. Earl May Garden Center. Yep, I remember all. I've been to all those places. Okay. Toll House says the employees had to call me Mister, and I had to call them by their first names. It was awful. Well, I've always called my employees by their first name. That's just the respectful thing to do.
All I know is HR has rules, and you follow them, or you don't let the door hit you in the ass. As Kirk.
By the way, my employees did not call me Mister. They called me by my first name, Dean or Mick, whichever one I happened to be using the name at the time. I remember when I first went to work for Albertsons, it was still a Lucky store. I always went by Mick at the time, and so the manager looked at me and he says, the store manager, and he says, no nicknames here. I go, why not? He goes, because I already have a Mick in this store, and you're going to go by your real name, Dean, and so I've been using my real name ever since. Mm-hmm. He goes, I like calling them by their first names, but I did not like them calling me Mr. Peterson. Yeah, I get it, Toll House. That's, like I said, my employees always called me by my first name, and I was perfectly okay with that. I mean, even at Kmart. I mean, I've managed at Albertsons. I've managed Hometown Foods in Iowa. Anybody here in Iowa remember Hometown Foods? There's plenty. I think there's 7 of them under variation of new names because I think all 7 of them were sold and only 2 of them kept the name.
There's still Hometown Dairy.
Yeah, not
the brand of milk, Hometown.
Yeah. Anywho, yeah, but I managed at the Hometown Food. That's where I retired from Hubbard. They sold that store, and I think it's just called Hometown Market or something.
Yeah. You got any more comments, or are we winding her up there, Dean?
I think we're winding her up. It's supposed to be a Hawkeye show, and we ended up talking about Kmart and the old stores that we all remember.
It's fine with me, but I just know your legs are acting up. You on the screen looks like you're filming a porn movie or something.
Moving around.
I was waiting for your face to turn red, so.
Well, it is getting better. I mean, if you did want to stick around a little longer, we could. Okay. New ideas for a podcast, old forgotten store names and stories. There you go.
You do that on the do that over on your villain show or something. So.
That's Toll House. He doesn't have a villain show.
Oh shit! Well, I tuned into that show you were on last year, and it was like I watched for a half hour, and you guys kept going through fast food places, the ones you liked and everything.
Yeah. Well, the villains, yeah.
That works better over here than it does with a show where Calvin's on. So.
Yeah. No, they like to do that kind of stuff, and it's I like that kind of show. It's kind of fun. Toll Houses, take care, Dean. Thank you. Oh, what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, another villain show, guys, on this network is called Hawkaholics, another Iowa Hawkeye show. I would like to pump them up and promote them. They start their new season off this Tuesday.
Cool.
This Tuesday. And so
they do their Big Ten predictions. So.
Yeah, I don't know what they're going to do. They haven't consulted me because it's their show, but I'm going to tune in and see what they do.
Yeah, I'm going to tune in. I like to see people's predictions and stuff, and I hope we get on our show. I hope we get Jason and Paul so we can do our poll. And Kyle, he wasn't in our poll last year, but it was kind of fun doing the math, figuring out in the Talking Iowa Hawkeye Sports poll, and then see how it came out at the end. But anyway,
I want to get I like these comments off before I go off the air. I gotta find it. I gotta find one. Where did that comment go? There it is.
Hope it's Hawkeye something. We are Hawkeye show.
Yeah, I want to point out, Vandy, if you're still here, can you tell people the new name of your podcast? I know you switched the name, and it starts this week under the new name. If you haven't already done it, Vandy, if you want to tell people about it, I'm promoting your show.
Was that the broom one?
Yeah, the Golden Broom is no longer the Golden Broom. It has a new name.
Oh.
Okay. And of course, Terry's on here. I think it's Terry's Terrible Sports is his podcast, but I really like his show because it's centered on all sports and all teams. He doesn't focus just on Hawkeyes, or in his case, just UCLA.
He sends me his interviews. Mm-hmm. I like it when he interviews people. He lets them talk, and he's got more brains than Calvin does. Just let him talk. Where did you tell us your life story?
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, he gets them started and lets them go, and that's what I try to do.
That's the way you do it,
Yeah, that's what I try to do myself. All righty, I think this is a good place to end it. Finally,
20 minutes of old stories.
Vandy must have got off because I gave him an opportunity to promote his new name on his show, but he didn't promote it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we got a lot of great shows on this network, and I suggest following them.
I appreciate Trevor Lau showing up tonight.
Yeah, that was nice of him to give us a couple of minutes of his time. But the most thing I found out was
it wasn't really me, but
yeah.
Anyway, what was cool today was a neighbor. She said she went on and she put a picture of all this Hawkeye stuff at a Goodwill store.
So you ran to the Goodwill and bought it all.
I didn't buy it all, but I bought like $40 of it. They probably cost like $3-4 a piece, and that soft helmet was one of them. Oh, cool. I wore it across the parking lot, waving to people, like the people here at the condos and everything. They go Hawks, and boy, that soft helmet, it was hotter than the devil. I'm glad it was a little cooler today. But anyway,
hotter than the devil.
It was hotter than the devil, boy.
Yeah, today you get 107 here.
So I got some cheap Hawkeye stuff today. Just one thing for me, two things for me, really. The rest of it, I'll give it to people. But anyway, I know you want to get off.
Yep, let's get off. I mean, my legs are getting better. I could actually sit down and do this podcast.
It was Goodwill at Moline. In Moline, it's the only one in Moline, Iowa, and
Cole House wants to see you with your helmet on. Go put it on for him real quick.
Well, I'm going to come back as Trevor Lau.
You have to talk like him this time.
Hey, Toll House, this is Trevor Lau. I hope you make it out to the Iowa-Ohio State Woodshed game. They're finally coming back.
I love it. The Woodshed game part 2. I can see the headlines.
Signetti and Cuban tried to get me to go to Indiana this year, but I love Kirk and I love Coach Barnett. I stayed. I took about $600,000 less, but I love my Hawkeyes. And that's the truth. That's the truth. Signetti tried getting him and Xavier Williams this year. So anyway.
So it turns out, according to Kirk, that Tony Diaz really did have an offer from Alabama. A lot of people thought that his agent was just using that to make him look better.
Yeah, the Iowa coaches told him, and his agent agreed. They said, yeah, you go to Alabama, because his tape was good, but not that great. It didn't really show his athletic ability. It just showed that he caught everything. And anyway, they said, if you go to Alabama, and his agent told him the same thing, you might be the 5th wide receiver.
You go to Iowa, you're going to be a star.
Well, I don't know if you're going to be a star, but you come to Iowa, you're going to be in our top 2. You ain't going to tell them you're better than Vanderzee. Vanderzee's been so productive for a few games that he's played in. And now, thank God, Vanderzee's got a 5th year.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy how Van der Zee hasn't played that much, but he's because of his injuries, but he has, like, when he has played, he's just lighting it up.
I got a trivia question real quick.
Yeah.
If Dean can't answer it real quick, I'll just give it. Who's the fifth? It's either fifth or sixth, but I think who's the fifth all-time leading reception leader at Iowa?
The fifth?
Yeah. I'm saying he's the fifth. It's because it's so surprising. I would have never had him in the top 20. But anyway.
I'm going to go with somebody who graduated in the last several years. Nico Reganey.
That is exactly right.
Is it really?
Nico. And you were so stickler years ago. It's Ragaini.
Yeah, it is. It is Reganey. I forgot that his senior year, he finally made everybody start calling him the right way.
It's like 160 receptions. Who would have thought?
That is crazy. But I mean, his best year was his freshman year. Remember those crazy?
I don't remember
those crazy. Yeah, remember those crazy passes he caught?
Well, I don't think his freshman year he did much. He played with Nate Stanley. He was here 6 years because of COVID. And
well, I thought his freshman year, didn't he? He played in that Holiday Bowl against USC.
His second year was the Penn State game in 2020 when he caught that big pass, right? No, that was 2021. So his second year was 2020 he played with Petrus. He played 1 year with Stanley. You know, that would have been the USC Bowl, right? Where they beat USC. I don't think he played that much, you know, when he had 4 wide receivers in front of him then. And then
I'm going to look that up. I got to look that up.
Next year, 2020 was Petrus. They had a really good offense that year because they had an offensive line. They scored 32 points a game that year, second in the Big Ten. You know. And then 2021 was Penn. I remember making a big catch, Penn State, and I think he made a big catch. Against Nebraska. That might have been with Stanley, where we come back and beat Nebraska with a kick at the buzzer. And I think Ragaini made the attempt to make a big catch, but then they had a replay and it hit the ground. So then Laporta. So then they threw it to Laporta and he made the big catch. Then they handed it off to McKay Sargent. And then they kicked the field goal where the kicker went like this to Frost. You know, the salute. Remember that, Dean?
Yes.
And then of course, Ragaini's numbers probably dropped in 22 and 23 because of, you know, the offense. No offensive line and quarterbacks getting hurt and all that.
Cyhawk C Money says it was Keith Chappelle, but you know, I thought I'd put his answer up there.
Keith Chappelle was the guy I came up with last week. That he was he had over. You said there's only 2 guys that's got 1,000 yards receiving in a season, and I said, well, Keith Chappelle was the first one, and he had a little more than that. And you looked it up, and he did in
I actually miss it.
1980, and then the McNutt had 1,300 yards in one season.
Yeah. What's the deal with McNutt? Is he a bad coach or something that he couldn't even keep a high school job?
Well, they probably didn't win enough. They probably didn't have a good product on the field. You know, you aren't a successful coach because you were a good player.
No, that's true. Usually the bad players are the ones that are successul coaches.
Do you remember Nick Saban playing college football?
No. Do you remember Kirk Ferentz playing college football?
No. I was going to say, do you remember Nick Saban or Cignetti or Kirk or Steve Spurrier was like a Heisman Trophy winner almost or something. But most good coaches, you know, were very forgettable as players or weren't any good, you know. So anyway.
Okay, we should probably tell Seahawk. He probably didn't realize that we already named the guy. He's already named Quinn Early and Robert Smith. And okay, So yeah, we it was Nicole Regini or Regani. Say it out. Say it properly.
Ragaini, according to his mother.
Ragaini. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
They wanted
Dean,
to call him by his real name.
Dean got it right off the bat. I'm real proud of Dean.
Yeah.
That was a tough one, I thought. But
Well, it's just because he played 5 years or something like that.
6.
6, yeah, and it just seemed like he was catching a lot of balls.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Seahawks C Money says Deion Sanders is struggling. You guys think that he's on the hot seat this year? Win or go home?
I don't know, but he's not a good coach. I remember 2 or 3 years ago, I remember Vandy was on and Jason was on, and they just thought Deion was they were just gonna go crazy. How great Colorado was, and some of the other guys on your show said, "I wish he was coming to Iowa," and everything. Sure glad he didn't. But.
Well, no, I think one of the things they just pointed out that he went to Colorado and he did everything that Kirk was accused of doing and being racist, but he got away with it at Colorado. But
Now, these guys on the show were saying how great a coach he was and everything, and I just thought, yeah, he won down there, and then he brought his players with him to Colorado, and
he won at Colorado for the season.
His first year, I think he went 7-5 or something, and he beat TCU, who went to the championship game before. But TCU that year only won like 5 games. Mm-hmm. Deion really didn't have any impressive wins that year.
Yeah, and then he got into it. Was his first year? He got into it with the coach at Colorado State, who's now coaching at Iowa.
Yeah, Jay Norvell. I think it was the second year they did, and Jay Norvell about beat him in it might have been the opening game of the season. Colorado got luckier in hell at the end of the game to win that game, but I'd take Jay Norvell as my coach.
Yeah.
Every time.
Toll House says Bob Stoops was one of the good players who became a good coach. He became a great coach. He had a good mentor in Superior. Steve, what's his name? I want to say Superior, but that's not right.
He coached 1 or 2 years with Steve Spurrier, but
yeah, that's it, Spurrier. Yeah,
but Bob Stoops' real mentors were Bill Brazier, Hayden Fry, and then he went and coached. He coached with Bill Snyder, I think, down at Kansas State. If you wanted real mentors.
I thought he went from Florida. I thought he went from Florida or Florida State directly to Oklahoma.
He did. I said he was with Spurrier like 1 or 2 years. Spurrier always had these great offenses, and their defenses sucked. Even though he had all these great players at Florida, so you got Bobby Stoops over there, and all of a sudden he had a good defense too. That's why he won a national championship. Mm-hmm. And then Bobby visited Iowa and Oklahoma and took the Oklahoma job. So
everybody wanted Bobby Stoops to be our coach. I mean, I was still in California at the time, but I was in on that controversy even here on the West Coast.
I don't know if he'd have waited another day or two, if Iowa would have hired him. We have no idea. But
this is kind of cool. All right, Seahawks C Money says it was Jackson State for Deion. Mm-hmm. And Toll House says good wrestlers become good coaches, apparently. Gable and Sanderson.
Yeah.
And the Oklahoma State coach. Yeah, they were all.
There's some great guys that were great football players that became great coaches. I'm just saying, like Vince Lombardi was one of the 5 blocks of granite in college for Fordham. One of the most storied offensive lines in the history of college football. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that because you're a good football player or a star, don't mean that you can coach.
Right,
correct. What I'm saying. So,
yeah,
Larry Bird's a great coach. Bill Russell wasn't. So.
Yeah. I gotta really like Larry Bird now because you remember the rivalry between him and Magic, but Now he has nothing but respect for Magic and what he did while he was playing for the Lakers.
Yeah, they were, after they did that commercial together, they were like best friends. Their last half of their NBA career.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Was that the one where they were McDonald's commercial where they were saying, "I'm going to knock this off the beam down the street, off the tower"?
No.
Okay, who was that?
that was Michael Jordan and Larry Bird. But Magic and Larry before Michael Jordan came along, they did a commercial on at Larry Bird's house. He had an outdoor court. And I don't know if it was for Converse. I don't know if it was for Pepsi. I don't remember what it was for. But Magic said he wasn't going to do it. And Larry said, well, this is the only place I'll film it is here on my court. And so Magic, it was a lot of money, and Magic says, okay. So Magic went over there and they just played basketball and they filmed it. And came lunchtime, and Magic started walking over to his trailer to get his lunch. And Larry said, no, Magic. Called him Irvin. No, Irvin. Mom made dinner for us up at the house. So they walked up there, and as they were walking, Magic said, this is a nice place you got. And Magic said how he grew up so poor, and Bird said, I grew up very poor too. And they got to know each other. They got in the house, and Larry's mom just ran over to Magic and hugged him. And then she fed him, and then she said to Larry, well, did you tell Magic? Bird goes, no, I didn't tell him. You tell him, Mom. And she went over and she gave him dessert, and she goes, you're my favorite player.
Even over Larry.
and Magic, he said, I just fell in love with Larry and his mom. So that was the deal.
All righty. Okay. I think now we can try to leave.
Yeah, 37 minutes later. We're ready.
There we go.
Any more comments?
No more new comments.
Okay.
Yeah. So I got a feeling this is going to be a high view show because it's going to be shorter, and we only had about 17 viewers tonight at our peak, and usually we have about double that.
Yeah. It was going to be short, and then we went 40 minutes longer, so an hour and 38 minutes. So
well, you notice I'm sitting down again, so I got through it.
Yeah, I did too.
Cyhawk says, "Go Hawks!" Yes, go Hawks.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here. Let's go on and do our thing, and we'll see you guys Wednesday night. Peace out. Go Hawks.